Hello everyone, welcome to the 7th International Conference on Contemporary Computing and Informatics. I am thankful to the conference organizers and Amity University Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh for providing me the opportunity to share my understanding on the topic Anomaly Detection for Cybersecurity of Cyber Physical System. This presentation is inspired and includes content from a research paper published by my team working at Power Cyber Lab at Iowa State University. This is my team at Power Cyber Lab led by Dr. Ravikumar. At our lab we have real-time simulators from RTDS and OpenRT. Then we have PMUs, we have communication technology devices, we have components of cybersecurity. Combining them, we have a testbed setup on which we can create the different cyber attack scenarios and we can test the cybersecurity concepts we have developed. So these are the contents for today's presentation. First, we are going to understand what is a cyber physical system, then what is the significance of cybersecurity for it, what are the different cyber attacks on cyber physical system, the role of anomaly detection, its concept. Then we are going to discuss a case study using a Bi-LSTM data-driven anomaly detection for electric vehicle charging system. Then conclusion and reference. So the first question is, what is a cyber physical system? A cyber physical system is an integration of computational algorithms, networks, and physical processes. So if you see this figure, the information technology and the operational technology, they both are combined using the networking links. The IT technology includes basically the communication technologies, networking, cloud services, and data processing, which are basically required to deploy computational algorithms. Then the operational technology, basically the physical system, is a hardware or it could be a software which performs the physical process based on the input from the information technology. Now the key characteristics of the cyber physical system is that it is an integration of computational and physical processes. It is a real-time operation. That means the data is being processed in real time and decisions are being taken in real time. Then it is an embedded system. That means it is designed for some specific function. It has a networking and it has some autonomy, so that it has a sensor data which it can use to take the decision. So now you might be wondering, what are the examples of cyber physical system? In our daily life, we are surrounded by different kind of cyber physical systems. For the sake of example, I have added a few here, like the home security cameras being controlled through computers, the fitness tracker which are becoming popular day by day, the ATM machine we are relying for our financial transactions, the smart printers, the thermostat, the smart grid, the electrical grid which is being now promoted by each and every government, the smart speakers which is now becoming a common thing in any household, the self-driving car, the EV charging system. These are some examples of cyber physical system, but if you look around you will find more in your daily life. Now these cyber physical systems have computers, networks, and other devices that store the data, and that is prone to theft. Someone can steal it or someone can tamper it. Through that they might get the unauthorized access of the device itself, and by that they can harm the system. Imagine what happens if someone gets the access of ATM machine. They can steal all the money. Or what will happen if someone gets the access of your fitness tracker, your smart speaker, the other smart devices that you have at your home. If someone gets the unauthorized access, they can steal the private data, the confidential data, and with that they again can cause other harmful impact. So to ensure that our data is secure, our devices are reliable, we need to have some measures, some protocols. These protocols called the cybersecurity. These measures called the cybersecurity. Now, to list all the needs of cybersecurity, we can find few bullet points like protection of sensitive data. As I mentioned, if someone gets the access of your confidential data, your private data, or the data which is highly important to operate a device, they can cause a damage. Or the increasing risk of the cyber attacks and sabotage, which is kind of becoming the practice of the day. We are getting news of another cyber attack, another data theft day by day. Then comes the critical infrastructure protection. So beside our private data, a lot of our cyber physical systems are operating on a national level or a global scale, and if someone gets the access of those, they can cause a damage at the global level, at the national level. Imagine if someone can damage the electric grid. So for that we need a cyber security. We need the cyber security to ensure the data integrity, that whatever data it is being stored, that remains safe for longer time up. And then maintaining trust in autonomous system. So to ensure that people believe in any device, we need to ensure that the device is safe, the device is secure, and we can rely it. And if the data can be stolen from particular device, people will not believe it. So anyone would not like to go in any self-driving car which can be hacked. So for those reasons we need a cyber security, and of course all these things will have a economic impact. So ensure that there are no losses in terms of economy as well, we need a cyber security. And to provide the cyber security, we basically need to understand the cyber attacks first. So this figure here, it shows the architecture and attack surface for a cyber physical system. This is kind of another version of the first figure you have seen, where we have shown the IT and OT devices. Now on the top half we can see the cyber system, which includes the computing and control devices, communication networks, and in the lower half we can see the physical system, which includes the actuator, physical processors, and sensors. Now each and every component of this network can be hacked, can be attacked. So and here I have listed few sample attacks which can happen at this level. So on computing level we can have malware infections or spoofing attack, or we can have a man in the middle attack or DOS attack, that denial of service attack at the communication network, or we can at the actuator or sensor level we can have a data spoofing or sensor jamming, and then at the physical process level we can have a signal interference or firmware tampering, damaging the device itself. So we will look few of these attacks in detail in the following slides. Before going deep into the concept of cyber security and the anomaly detection to ensure the cyber security, I have added this timeline of some major cyber attacks on cyber physical system, just to highlight the gravity of the problem, the challenge we have. Now if you see this timeline, the first major cyber attacks came to notice in 2010 when the nuclear power program of the Iran witnessed a malware, and then year by year we are continuously seeing the increase in the cyber attacks. Like in 11 we saw the attack on the energy industry, and then in 12 there was the attack on natural gas and pipeline companies. In 2013 there was a cyber attack on the New York dam, so on. Then in 2015 there was a cyber attack on a power grid of Ukraine. From the Indian perspective, you can see in 2019 it was found that a North Korean malware was present in the Indian nuclear power plant. Now imagine what would have been the catastrophe if that malware could have caused some damage in terms of the operation of the nuclear power plant. So like that. So to ensure that all our cyber physical systems are safe and secure, we need to have better and better cyber security approaches, and we need to keep them updated so that our systems remain secure and reliable. Now to provide a cyber security, we first need to know that there is a cyber attack, something is being tampered, some data is being stolen, and to know that we basically need to deploy some technology, some method, some tool that keeps an eye on the system and Whenever there is a disturbance, there is an attempt on the system detects it, the tool detects it, and that tool is basically the anomaly detection. It is basically a process of identifying the identification of the observations, the events or the data points that deviate from the usual. So if a car is expected to go straight in a line and it starts boggling around the road, you will know that there is something wrong with the driver or something wrong with the car. The same goes with the cyber physical system. So we need to keep continuous observation of the data, the pattern, the events, and whenever there is something unusual, that need to be detected, and the process is anomaly detection. So these anomalies indicate that there could be something unusual or there could be some potentially harmful activity happening in the system, and that need to be filtered out, that need to be stopped, that need to be mitigated. The anomaly detection then again has different types, different techniques. Few are the AI based and then other are non-AI based. So non-AI based, the other techniques, they are basically the mathematical tools like statistics method, time series analysis, rule based system, etc. And the AI based, they can be categorized into three components, three parts: unsupervised, supervised and semi-supervised, based on the technique itself. Now there exist multiple anomaly detection techniques under these three AI categories, and few of the prominent ones include the k-mean clustering, the autoencoders, the support vector machine, deep neural network, RNN, etc., like LSTM, Bi-LSTM. And most of these have a kind of promising advantage when it comes to the power grid, the electrical system, the power system. But all these techniques, excluding the Bi-LSTM, they are unidirectional, so they can learn either from the forward data or the backward data, and that is kind of a drawback of these techniques. But the Bi-LSTM technique, which Bi stands for the Bi-Directional and LSTM stands for the long-term, short-term memory. It has a distinct advantage that it can learn from the both the forward and backward sequence of the data. So it has a capacity to capture the bi-directional context of the information and then making it adept at the comprehending the evolving nature of the cyber threats. So by this it becomes a kind of better than other available techniques, and its capacity to model the long range dependencies enable the Bi-LSTM for the identification of complex attacks. So in this study that we are going to see now, we have proposed a Bi-LSTM based data driven anomaly detection for the electric vehicle charging system. To develop and demonstrate the concept of Bi-LSTM data driven anomaly detection for the electric vehicle charging system, we have taken this figure as a case study, and using this we have first developed the concept and then demonstrated its effectiveness. So you can see it here, it is basically a power system, but not the traditional power system, but the extension of power system. It has the conventional components like transmission and distribution station. It has the DRs, distributed energy resources including solar, PV, the wind energy and battery energy storage. But at the same time, it has a electric vehicle as well. Now this T&D station and the DRs, they represent the physical system, which are basically complemented by their cyber components like the energy management system at the station level, or the dumps devices, dumps topologies, concepts at the DR levels, which are kind of the cyber component of the energy systems. And then this has been integrated to the electric vehicle charging system, which again itself is a kind of a cyber physical architecture, and it has been integrated at a common node using the main controller for the entire system. Now if you see here, we can see communication between energy management system and DUMS, and the communication between DUMS and the electric vehicle charging controller, and a hacker can get access of this network at any of this communication level and can cause a tampering or an attack. So they can get access of at the DNP3 communication level, or they can get the access between dumps and third-party aggregators communicating over IEEE 2030.5 protocol, or they can get the access at the operator level or at the communication between the operator or the EVCS main controller. And when they will get the access, they can cause any kind of tampering, any kind of attack on the system. So in this, the four cyber attack scenarios considered in this study includes the denial of service attack, spoofing attack, replay attack, and data manipulation attack. Now we will see all of them one by one. So denial of service attack, to understand it, just take an example of our daily life experience of a computer. So we have seen that it happens often that our computer gets hanged and we are trying to perform some operation, but it is not responding because the processor is busy in doing something else, and it cannot take the intended command from our side. Something similar happens in a DOS attack. So in a DOS attack, the attackers overwhelm the controller or the charging station by feeding more and more information, more and more data from its own side, and the charging station, the controller gets busy in handling that data traffic. And by that, when it is busy in handling that data traffic, it fails to take the legitimate command from the command center or from the charging station or from the EV side. So, and that makes it unavailable for the users to use it. So, impact of this is that there is a charging station which is available for users to charge their device, charge their electric vehicle, but because of DOS attack, the charger itself is hanged. It is not responding and the users cannot use it. And the second type of attack is a spoofing attack. So in the spoofing attack, the attackers impersonate itself as a legitimate charging station or a communication node, and doing so it can get it gets the access of the unauthorized data, and then it can manipulate it. And by doing so, what it can do, it can create a falsified command that it can send to the system, and operating at that falsified command, the system can have a damaging impact. So there is a EV charging in the process, and the charging could have been completed. The EV is now need to be disconnected, but because of the spoofing attack, the attacker is sending a non-stop data or sending a falsified data, keep the charging going on. And so after a fully charged, if the charging is going on, that can cause the heating, that can cause the physical damage to the electric vehicle in the charging station, or the reverse can happen. The charging can be interrupted in between the process. Next type of attack is the replay attack. So in a replay attack, what happens that the attackers take a legitimate communication between the two nodes. It could be charging station and the operator, or the device and the charging station, and then it makes a copy of that original legitimate communication between the devices and plays it again and again to the network. So because it is a copy of original legitimate communication, it becomes difficult to identify it and filter it out, and by doing so, attackers can create unwanted scenarios, which again similar to other cases can lead to a physical damage. And the fourth one is the data manipulation attack. So this kind of attack happens at a sensor or actuator level of the charging station, where the data is being collected or being transmitted through actuator and sensor, and at that level the attacker copies that data, manipulates it and feed it again, or it adds some value to that sensor data or that actuator data. And when the sensor data is manipulated, that can lead to a wrong command, or in terms of economy, that can lead to a wrong billing, inappropriate financial transaction, or when it is data manipulation of actuator, it can lead to excess charging or undercharging of the device, or it can cause a physical damage to the device by heating and other challenges. So now we have developed a Bi-LSTM based data driven anomaly detection technique to identify the 4 cyber attacks we just discussed about. Now this figure here, it shows the flow chart of this technique. So at the first, in the left bottom, we have electric vehicle charging stations, which are basically simulated using the real-time simulators, and then from that we have collected data for different scenarios, for the normal scenarios, for the cyber attack scenarios, and then that is being fed to the feature extraction. From the feature extraction, we have extracted multiple features, and using that feature, the next step of feature selection has been performed, and after that the data is passed to the data matrix data set, and from that we have used the data for the training purpose, for the testing purpose. The training data goes through the Bi-LSTM technique, and the testing data goes directly bypassing it, and then they both have been compared using the predictive training model. And based on that, then the attack has been detected, and then accordingly the trip signal has been sent to the EVCS system. Now we will be going through these components one by one in detail. So first we can see the data extraction part. So for this study we have taken both normal operation and cyber attack operation for the data generation purpose. And in normal operations, we have considered the line faults, the load switching, the capacitor switching scenarios, and then we have varied the values of register, the angle, the active and reactive power for the different conditions, and generated the scenarios which is not a cyber attack scenario. And then we have generated the data for the cyber attack scenarios, for the denial of service attack, the spoof attack, the replay attack, and data manipulation attack. Multiple variants of these cyber attacks has been considered, and a different strength level has been considered for the generation of the data. So then using that data, we have performed the feature extraction. So feature extraction is basically the retrieval of the features from the raw data. Now using AI techniques, we can extract the features directly, but then that is kind of requires high computational sense and can lead to the poor accuracy in the detection. But since the feature extraction is very important aspect of this entire anomaly detections, so we have avoided for going for the direct approaches, and we have used the detailed mathematical tools for that. Now this feature extraction could be of 3 types. There are 3 categories of this: the time domain feature extraction, the frequency domain feature extraction, or the time and frequency domain features. And based on our requirement, one can choose either of them. In this study, we have used the statistical time domain features, and for that we have used the passive parameters of the point of common coupling and the electric vehicle bus. So what happens that for each buses we have collected the passive data like state of charge of the electric vehicle battery, the EV voltage, the EV current, the 3-phase voltage of the electric grid, the 3-phase current of the electric grid, the frequency of the grid, power, like that, totaling 16 passive parameters. Now for then using from these 16 passive parameters, we have generated 7 features for each parameters. So for one passive parameter, 7 features. For the second passive parameter, 7 features. Like that, for all 16 features, we have generated a total 112 input features. And these features are listed here in table 2. The mathematical formulation are shown. That include the mean of the values, the standard deviation, the root mean square, the curtoise, the squeeze skewness, the impulse factor, and signal to noise ratio. Now, then these features are then considered for the next stage. The next stage is a feature selection. Now, as I told that we have 16 passive parameters, and for each parameter we have 7 features. Now again, using all of them becomes a mathematical burden on the system, as well as all of them might not be important for each scenarios. So then we need to select a particular feature which is relevant for the data we have, which is relevant for the attack scenario we have. So for that, then we need a feature selection techniques, we need a trapper technique, and then again there are multiple feature selection technique. In this study we have used the wrappers method. Flowchart of that is given here. So using the wrapper method, we have then selected a feature from generated 112 features for the data set, and that data is transferred to the data matrix and then data set. And in the data set again, we have kind of all features, and that need to be used for the training and testing purpose. Now for that, the training purpose, we have used the LSTM, Bi-LSTM neural network. The architecture of that is shown here. It has as mentioned earlier, that it has both forward and backward data sequencing techniques, and one LSTM is used for forward data sequencing, other one is used for the backward data sequencing technique, and that makes it more efficient. And for the training purpose, we have kind of data from the data set which has been segregated into 70-30 ratio. Now the 70% data has been taken for the training purpose, and 30% data has been taken for the testing purpose. And to realize this entire concept, we have used the Keras and TensorFlow techniques, the libraries available in the simulation platform. And then again, based on that training and testing, from the training data we train our Bi-LSTM, and from that we get the reference values, and from the testing data we feed that data directly to the predictive trained model, and then that trained model basically identifies that we have a cyber attack or not, and if we have a cyber attack, what kind of cyber attack we have. Now to implement and test the proposed concept of data-driven anomaly detection technique, we have developed a testbed at our lab. We have developed this testbed using the OpenRT real-time digital simulator and integrated it with the hardware setup available at our lab. We have integrated the model with the API and Artemis SSN of the OpenRT. And then to operate the system, we have defined some sequences, some priorities, like which device will be in a grid following mode, which will be in a grid forming mode, and then what would be the role of different devices, like a battery of the solar will be used for smoothing, peak saving applications, and the EV's batteries can support both electrical grid and microgrid, like that. Then these plots here, they show the case scenarios, the results, and here we have shown the results for the all 4 attacks, like DOS attack, spoof attack, replay attack, and manipulation attack. Now what is happening that in the system, the EV charging is operating in a normal mode. The electrical values, the current, voltage, frequency, they are at a normal values, and there is no disturbance in that. But the data has been tempered using these attacks, through the DOS attack or spoof attack, and replay attack, or the fourth one, the data manipulation attack. Through these attacks, the data of the charging has been manipulated to reflect some inaccurate values for the charging instruction, and that can cause a damage to the system itself. Now for example, if you see the DOS attack, the first case, now while the charging is happening at the normal pace, the data has been tempered to show some abnormal values, like the current values shown in a green has been reversed using the DOS attack, or the SOC values has been tempered. So when these data are passed to the controller or some other higher components, they see this as a they treat it as a original data, as authenticate data, and that will lead to the damage to the device or mal-operation of the device or the mal-operation of the charging station. While in a reality that device is operating perfectly, but because of the data tampering through the attacks, they read some other values and misbehave or mal-operate. Same is the case with the spoof attack, replay attack, and the data manipulation attack. Now, using the technique for the anomaly detection we have developed, we have been successful in identifying the 4 different attacks, and then for the comparative analysis we have included the plot comparative values here. There are beside our Bi-LSTM based technique, we have considered the 4 more, like linear regression technique, support vector machine technique, and multiple layer perception, and long short-term memory LSTM technique. Now, in terms of accuracy, precision, recall, F1 score, in all these categories, the Bi-LSTM techniques outperforms all others, except the precision one, where it comes the second. In the precision one, the first at the first place, it is second to the SVM technique. Thus, we can say that the technique we have proposed, that is better than all the existing approaches available. And then we also have done a comparison of the testing with the different noise level, and shown here in this plot, like you can see the blue plot shows the blue bar shows the Bi-LSTM technique, orange bar shows the LSTM technique, and green bar shows the NN technique. And then we have performed this average accuracy with noise for the original data, for the combined noise, then the 40 dB and 30 dB noise. And in all these categories, we have found that the Bi-LSTM technique outperforms all other techniques. Similarly, we have added we have performed the loss and accuracy curve analysis, and the blue line here that shows the training loss, and orange line shows the validation loss. And we can see from this plot that they are very low as the number of epoch increases, and when it comes to the accuracy increases with the number of samples, the number of epochs. So thus I can say that the technique we have proposed is has been very successful in identifying the 4 cyber attacks, and using that we can ensure the cyber security of our cyber physical system. Specifically for the case we have considered the EV charging station. Now to conclude, cyber physical system is an integration of computational algorithm and networks and the physical processes, and then because it has a cyber component, it is prone to the cyber attacks, and it can have a data theft. Data can be damaged. Someone can get unauthorized access, and to ensure that all these securities, to ensure the data integrity, we need a cyber security for the cyber physical system. To enable the cyber security, we first need to detect the cyber attacks, and for that we need an anomaly detection, which is kind of essential tool to identify and prevent and mitigate the cyber attacks. So in our research lab, we have proposed a Bi-LSTM based data driven anomaly detection technique, and which can be helpful in cyber security of EVCS. And we have seen from the results that the Bi-LSTM data driven anomaly detection technique that we have proposed, it has been successful for all 4 DOS, spoof, replay, and data manipulation attack, and it demonstrated very high accuracy compared to all available techniques. So with that, I conclude my slides, and if you have any query, these are some references for which can you refer for the more reading, and if you have any query, feel free to reach. Thank you.